They used to laugh when I walked into the office. Not openly. Not loudly. Just small looks. Smirks. The kind of glances that said, "What is she even doing here?" I was the receptionist at my own family's company. Not by choice. By punishment. My name is Lena Carter, and for 26 years, my family made sure I never forgot one thing. I was the failure. My father built Carter Holdings from nothing, a construction and real estate empire worth over $400 million. My older brother, Nathan, was groomed to take over. My younger sister, Elise, was treated like royalty. And me? I was the disappointment. The daughter who didn't go to an Ivy League college. The one who dropped out after 2 semesters. The one they whispered about at family dinners. Such wasted potential. They never asked why I left college. They never asked what I was actually doing. They just decided I wasn't worth the effort. So they gave me a chair, a desk, and a headset, and stuck me at the front of the building like a decoration. The girl no one took seriously. Every morning, I arrived before 8 a.m. sharp. I wore simple clothes, minimal makeup, and kept my hair in a tight bun. I answered phones, signed for packages, greeted executives who barely looked at my face. Some didn't even realize I was part of the Carter family. And the ones who did treated me worse. "You're lucky your last name is Carter," my manager once said casually. "Otherwise, you wouldn't even have this job." I smiled. I always smiled. Because smiling was safer than speaking. My brother Nathan, the future CEO, loved to remind me of my place. "Reception looks good on you," he'd say in front of senior staff. "Low pressure. Simple tasks. Perfect for your capabilities." The room would fill with awkward laughter. And I would lower my eyes and pretend it didn't hurt. But inside, something else was happening. Something they never suspected. What they didn't know. At night, when everyone else slept, I worked. While my family partied, networked, and attended galas, I sat in my small apartment with 2 laptops and a cheap desk. I taught myself coding, digital marketing, e-commerce, investment analysis, and business automation. I built websites. I launched online stores. I tested business models. I failed. I tried again. And slowly, quietly, I succeeded. By 22, I had my first profitable online company. By 24, I owned 4. By 26, the age they still called me useless, my businesses were generating over $120,000 per month. But my family didn't know. Because I never told them. Because success, when hidden, becomes a weapon. The day everything broke. It happened on a Monday. Of course it did. The kind of Monday that starts like every other and ends with your entire life split into before and after. I was organizing the front desk schedule when Nathan stormed out of the boardroom, face red, tie loosened, rage vibrating through the air. "Where's Lena?" he snapped. I stood. "Here. My office. Now." Everyone watched as I followed him inside. The door slammed. "You embarrassed me," he said. I blinked. "I'm sorry." "One of the investors complained about the front desk," he continued. "Said the service felt cheap. Unprofessional." I swallowed. I followed protocol. "I don't care," he snapped. "This company is worth hundreds of millions. We cannot afford mistakes." He leaned back in his chair, eyes cold. "You're done here." My heart skipped. "What?" "You heard me. I'm firing you. Effective immediately." For a moment, the room went silent inside my head. Then something strange happened. I felt calm. Too calm. "You can't fire me," I said quietly. Nathan laughed. "Watch me." He slid termination papers across the desk. "Security will escort you out." I looked at the paper. Then at him. Then I smiled. And that smile, finally, was real. "Before you do that," I said, "you might want to read Clause 14. His laughter stopped. "What?" "In Dad's will. Clause 14. Nathan stiffened. Our father had died 2 years earlier. Suddenly. Mysteriously. And his will had always been strange. "What about it?" Nathan asked sharply. "Just read it," I said. The clause they ignored. Nathan stormed out of his office and into legal. 30 minutes later, the company's senior lawyer, Mr. Holbrook, requested an emergency meeting. The board gathered. My sister Elise joined via video, and I was invited for the first time to sit at the table. Mr. Holbrook adjusted his glasses. 2 years ago, he said slowly, your father inserted a special condition into his will, one that none of you took seriously. Nathan frowned. Get to the point. Clause 14 states, if at any point the board removes Lena Carter from her position in this company, regardless of rank, all controlling shares immediately transfer to her. Silence. Absolute. Brutal. That's impossible, Elise whispered. Mr. Holbrook slid copies of the document across the table. Your father believed Lena would be underestimated. He built a protection mechanism. Nathan stared at the paper, face draining of color. You mean, his voice cracked, she owns? As of 17 minutes ago, the lawyer said calmly, Lena Carter is the majority shareholder of Carter Holdings. Every head turned toward me. The girl they ignored. The receptionist they fired. The failure they mocked. Now their boss. The fall of their power. Nathan stood up, so fast his chair crashed to the floor. This is insane. She knows nothing about running a company. I met his eyes. Actually, I said, I run for. He froze. What? I placed my phone on the table and opened my banking app. For business accounts. 7 figures. Dead silence. While you were busy calling me useless, I continued calmly, I was building companies from scratch. Real companies. Profitable ones. Nathan's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. Nothing came out. Effective immediately. I said, I'm restructuring leadership. I turned to the lawyer. Nathan Carter is removed as acting CEO. The words tasted unreal. Perfect. The truth comes out. The next 48 hours shook the entire company. Audits revealed financial mismanagement, risky investments, hidden debts, deals Nathan had rushed to boost his image, deals that nearly destroyed everything my father built. The board watched as I calmly corrected each mistake. They stopped doubting, started listening, and finally respecting. The letter from my father. 3 days later, Mr. Holbrook handed me a sealed envelope. Your father left this for you, he said quietly. Only if Clause 14 was activated. My hands shook as I opened it. My dearest Lena, if you're reading this, then my fears were justified. They never saw you. But I did. You were always the strongest, the smartest, the bravest. I built this company for you. Even when you didn't believe in yourself yet. Tear down what needs tearing. Build what deserves building. This world tried to shrink you. Don't let it. Dad. I cried. For the first time in years. Where they ended up. Nathan resigned within a month. His reputation destroyed. Elise moved overseas. The family dinner stopped. The mocking smiles vanished. And Carter Holdings? We expanded. We modernized. We tripled profits in 2 years. And every time someone asks how I became CEO so young, I smile and say, they fired me. Final message. They called me useless. They called me weak. They called me a failure. Until the day they needed to call me boss. Never underestimate the quiet one. Because while you're laughing, they're building.